So, guys, this will eventually be a YouTube video. We're going to be discussing the new Nunu update. We're going to be talking about the abilities, the new skins, and Nunu certainly was probably one of the most out of date champions that's ever existed. So, this update is pretty hype considering he's been such an old champion. And joining me is my friend Tyler. Not confused with Tyler 1. One time we accidentally put Tyler 1 Tyler in the title. They assumed it was Tyler 1, and I had more dislikes than I would like to admit. But Tyler is actually better at talking about these types of things than my dear friend Tyler 1. So Tyler 2 here will be, or just Tyler will be helping discuss lots of cool stuff around Nunu, and we're going to be involving chat, and we're just going to be having a good time discussing this Nunu update. So Tyler, do you want to tell us a little bit about your first impressions of Nunu and Willump?
Hey guys, Tyler 21 here. Sorry. This is a great update. My first impression was this update sucks, but then we looked at it for a little bit, and it's great. So I think when you do a champion update, you want to keep the theme the same, you want to keep the feel of the champion the same, and you want to keep as many abilities as you can. But with old Nunu, his abilities sucked, so you really had to redo like half of them. Okay, so with this champion, I think Riot's main goals should have been keep him a jungler. Maybe I would shift him more towards the tank figure, and we'll talk about that later. But I think they kind of did that, and give him a little bit of CC because God knows he needed it. Never had zero CC in his kit besides zero hard CC. He had slows, but who cares about slows? So keep him as a jungler. Keep his theme with consume and being able to steal camps early game and secure camps late game. That's what you wanted to see, and I think they accomplished that. So let's get right into it with this passive. So Nunu's passive.
Call of the Freyjord. Damaging an enemy champion, large monsters or structures increases the attack speed, movement speed of Willump, and nearby allies for a few seconds, but it prioritizes the ally with the highest attack speed. While Willump hears Call of the Freyjord, his basic attacks cleave the immediate area for a portion of the damage.
Oh, that cleave is just so good. That was so much damage. So if you couldn't tell, not much happening there in the sense of cleaves, but at least his old W is still somewhere in his kit, and I feel that that's really cool. Like, I like the fact that he can still give the attack speed to a partner, and I like the fact that he still gives the move speed. Now, one of my concerns about this is that free move speed, when you're in a gank scenario like top lane, that can be enough to turn it in your favor, right? So my concern with this new passive, as opposed to the old visionary, is that this is going to be a pretty strong early gank top lane. I don't know how strong it'll be, but with his new abilities and with this specifically the move speed and attack speed part of this passive, I can see Nunu being a really good early ganker.
I'm actually like really interested in the idea of like him having a little extra cleave, because you're probably gonna go Cinderhulk on him anyways. So this just like kind of like evens it out so that maybe the Raptor camp is a little bit easier, but also it gives him a little bit of wave clear when he's holding lanes, just like a little bit, which I think they wanted to like bump it up just enough where it's just like, you know, otherwise he doesn't really have great AoE. But this ability just feels really loaded. Like he's got.
So the problem with the cleave on wave clear is that it doesn't proc from minions. So you actually don't
you're
get
right.
the cleave
Unless you're hitting a champion.
You have to hit the champion
or a large monster.
Tower.
Yeah.
Tower would work too.
So okay. So it's not going to work on minions. It's only going to work like in your jungle clear or in a gank or just like actually when you're trying to push.
So I think we should talk about the fact that the cleave is like a very small amount too. I mean, this is not a Tiamat, okay? This is not enough damage for you to really look at and think, wow, I can now shove super fast. It looks like it's about 1%, like
it's tiny.
3%. Looks like it's like 3% of the melee minion's health. And that's not a lot, but that'll still help him through the jungle.
I wonder if it scales with something.
Max health, maybe? I wouldn't be surprised if it scales with the damage of your autos, but nobody in their right mind will build damage Nunu. So It doesn't matter. Okay, I think we talked about his passive enough. Also, I something we talked about earlier. It's kind of hilarious that like one of the few things you had to do on old Nunu was like give move speed and attack speed to the right person by targeting them. But this kind of takes that away.
It's
It
autopilot.
automatically happens. So thank you for making the worst players in the world a little bit better. But I do like the feel that this is still on the kit. So let's move on to Nunu's Q.
Oh, I'll be building damage Nunu. Someone's gonna do it.
Oh God, please don't.
Look at that heal, dude. He healed for so much.
600. It was a 600 heal on the minion, and then on the champion, I think it was like only like 200.
Yeah, so it's half.
That actually makes me think that the heal is maybe related to the damage you do instead of being a certain amount of healing. It's just maybe it's 100% of the damage you deal, or 75 or 80% of the damage you deal.
Oh, and cool. It's amplified the lower HP you are.
Oh, that's why.
It was doing so much.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Andy, in the chat for helping us out with that. I didn't see that before. That's pretty interesting. So
I like that you can. Low. Yeah, it's a really versatile ability now. Like it's not just a PvE ability. It's going to still help you secure Baron. Great sustain.
So the interesting thing about this, honestly, is the cooldown. Because now that it's a damage ability, Riot shouldn't want it on a low cooldown. But because he's a jungler, he has to have it on a low cooldown. We see later in the video of like how the whole kit comes together that we'll play here in a second. But it's actually pretty low cooldown. It surprised me how low of a cooldown it was, honestly. And it can hit champions. I mean, like the Nunu would have been better if old Nunu could hit champions with the consume. So, great buff. Love it.
Biggest snowball ever.
Oh, that's the name?
Yeah, that's the name.
That's amazing. All right, don't blink, guys. You're going to miss this. It's a lot of build up for nothing, but...
Boom.
Wow.
He starts rolling a snowball that grows in size and speed, crashing the snowball into a wall, enemy champion, or large monster, damages and knocks up nearby enemies. Reactivating the ability sends the snowball forward in a straight line, damaging and knocking up minions in addition to champions and monsters. So you can let it go.
Yeah, and I love the wording on this. Reactivating the ability sends the snowball flying in a straight line, also knocking up minions. Okay, we're going to knock up minions now. Thank God! I was so concerned it wouldn't knock up minions. but thank you for putting that in the tooltip.
Can you imagine just like you're pushing mid to the turret, you've got a big wave, and then suddenly a big snowball just comes rolling down, and he's AP Nunu, and it just full clears it.
It's great.
That would be great.
If the damage on this ability is enough to like clear waves with just the W, I cannot wait to be a side lane Nunu, even if I'm jungle, and then just start my little snowball and kill like 2 minion waves as I'm going along. I would just love it.
Oh my god! If that's the case, then you're gonna see mid Nunu. Mid Nunu just like runs back, snowballs the wave, and then just like starts running around. So it's got to do like no damage. There's no way.
And so to be serious about this ability for a second, I think it's kind of lame that I think that it's going to be really weird when you're trying to avoid walls. Like, he almost hits the wall. Like, you can see it in the video. He's almost hitting that tower. Imagine if you accidentally hit that tower and you just, like, stop your ability and your team's, like, engaging. And they're like, where's the snowball? I don't know. I hit the tower. I'm sorry, guys. Like, that's going to be really bad.
Here, turn down your mic volume and I'll increase your normal volume. Okay, it's getting a little bit of crispy in here.
Oh. Let me turn it down. All right, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going full Tyler 1, where his mic's on.
Oh, sorry. I've already. So the funny thing is, I had my mic at like 20% before that, but now it's at 10%. So, all right. Another thing that's interesting about this is that it's not a stun. Like, you would think that if a snowball was coming and like ran down at you and a giant snowball hit you in the face, you'd either be stunned or you'd be like knocked back, right? But I guess you get knocked up, which is like a buff to Yasuo ult. This ability is the reason why they didn't add in that extra damage to Yasuo ult. I know it. All right, that's about all I have to say about this. Great name. I hate the idea of using it in the jungle, like the clear camps. But cool.
It
cool
sounds so
ability.
janky. You're like,
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, I gotta do raptors. So you like turn around and you start rolling it up. You'll probably like not even use it that often, or you just point blank it or something. I don't know. I'd like to see like the clear paths like end up like you start red Krugs and then you snowball up to your raptors. You're like, I'm coming in.
That's actually, don't tell anybody. That's a great clear. I already realized that's going to be the meta.
Or you're counter jungling and you're like sneaking around their raptors, like by their red, and you start building up a snowball while they're on the raptors. And you just like let it go, and it steals it. That would be great.
Let's go check out the ability that I hate the most in the kit.
Snowball barrage. Nunu rapidly flings up to 3 volleys of snowballs for a few seconds, damaging champions and monsters and marking them snowbound. Enemies hit by all 3 snowballs in a volley are briefly slowed. When snowball barrage ends, all snowbound enemies near Nunu and Willump are briefly rooted. So, got a little bit of I guess it's kind of like Ari's Foxfire, where it just kind of goes.
Oh, it's like Urgot's machine turret thing that like goes on whoever's near you. So like,
oh wow, that's pretty weird.
Yep.
But I think he's gonna be pretty strong. Just like without even looking at his ultimate so far, like this looks pretty good. Should teammates be able to ride the snowball?
Jeez, that would be amazing.
Just send your Yasuo in with the snowball.
If that had been his ult instead, like the biggest snowball ever, and people could like jump on it.
I thought it was gonna be his ult when I saw the teaser. I was like, okay, well, he's gonna throw a massive snowball that's gonna like one shot somebody, but it's not even the ult. The ult
and the best part, if they could ride it. Oh no ult yet.
No.
Oh. All right, big surprise. It's the same as the ult.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's better. More slow when you're
more slow. More damage on cancellation early.
And it gives you a shield. Why does it give you a shield? I don't know. But it gives you a shield. So let's go back to E for a second because I want to talk about something in particular. I don't like the fact that they make these abilities that are AoE, but you will mostly be using them for single target damage. So it's like, to be good, Nunu's going to have to be balanced around his snowball only hitting one target. Right? But in theory, it could hit and root 4 targets.
Yep.
So, like, if you're balancing it around one target, yeah, 200 damage is totally fine for a level 11 and Nunu ability. Now, if you hit 4 targets, yeah, you can hit 800 damage. Is that fine for a basic ability at level 11? No, it's not fine. No, it's not fine. And it roots. Okay?
AoE root.
Let's talk about the synergy that we mentioned off stream with approach velocity. Like,
oh, yeah.
If you need to get in, you just take approach velocity, you get the E on them, and then you get the extra move speed. I mean, I know that Nunu could do that now, but like because his passive needs you to hit them instead of just being able to use it like his old W for move speed, approach velocity is going to be really good on Nunu.
Nunu jungle. All right. So Absolute Zero we kind of spoiled, but it looks better. It's probably going to be stronger. I don't know about the damage numbers, but
it looks like it goes off quicker too.
Yeah.
That didn't look like 3 seconds.
Yeah,
that looked like
you get a shield. It increases the slow the longer you're in it. When you cancel it early, it takes you're dealing more damage than the old ult, and it can be canceled early. Channeling from a bush and Fog of War won't reveal you, which I believe is the same case right now. So, yeah. Nunu looks better in almost every possible way.
Except if you're walking into the bush now, there's going to be higher...
oh, yeah, you're going to be slowed.
Like, you're slowed by a bigger amount. So, okay. All right, and so...
The numbers are the exact same.
Does the current ult also go up with... Like, the slow go up with duration?
Maybe.
I didn't think it did. Maybe it does, though.
I feel like it might. I know it's just it's a mega slow. Okay, so I feel like this kit is going to be bad if the numbers are bad, but inevitably at some point the numbers will be buffed. Like, I look at these, I look at like this kit, and I'm just like, Yeah, if this snowball does 5 damage, then that's a problem because then where's this damage coming from? But it's like I look at it like, okay, Nunu or Sejuani? Would you rather have a Nunu or Sejuani on your team? And I'm like, I mean, you basically can use this snowball like a Sejuani ult, except it's slower, it's non-ultimate, but it's an initiation tool where you're just throwing something at somebody, and if it hits them, it CCs them. Where's the risk? Like I love the snowball ability because when your team is grouping up, you're just gonna be like randomly fishing for snowball hits. You're just gonna be like running it down mid lane, letting it go, and then just some idiot's gonna be walking across, gets hit by it, and your whole team mobs him. So, I mean, his jungle looks fine. His Q has great healing. He gets attack speed boost. He's got a cleave. I don't know how useful his E is going to be jungling, but I basically look at him like he's going to be good at ganking. He's going to be really annoying in the hands of like an LCS player. I think he's absolutely going to be played in pro play, at least at some point. But I feel like the numbers are going to be the big thing. Like how high the numbers are in release. People are like, oh, he's so bad. And then Riot's like, all right, we got to buff him. And then it's like, wait, he's too strong. Don't do it.
Yeah, somebody said that E is actually a skill shot. That's pretty interesting if it is. But I don't think it's going to be that hard to hit. Like, it's...
I mean, you can't even tell it's a skill shot.
It's ranged. You only need to hit one to proc the snowbound, like the root later. Like, I don't know. It feels like that's still going to be really good.
What's the range on it, too? Like, it doesn't show max range.
Yeah.
It could be further than they're showing here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, all in all, like, I feel like this kit... I know you mentioned a lot of this about not being numbers-based, but, like, I just think he's going to do... Even if the numbers aren't there when he first releases, I think he's going to do a lot of the stuff that old Nunu did well, just as well. You know, we can watch the team fight video because I thought it was pretty interesting.
Dude, he's just like a better Sejuani.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, like, in this play, the snowball gets rolled up. I think Braum actually blocks the snowball damage. Or, like,
but
gets
he
it
still
reduced.
gets knocked up.
Yeah.
Watch this bite damage.
Insane. Like
that bite damage
so,
to, like,
right
30% of her health. Or he's going to bite him again.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. 6 seconds, and he bites him again. And that's not with blue.
He has to. He
doesn't have blue.
Yeah. He's maxing that ability first, though.
Yeah, but still.
I like how he dodges the Gnarl, and then he...
Yeah, keeps going around. Keeps going around.
Well, what else is he going to be doing? His auto attacks aren't doing... He's behind the turret.
This is so stupid.
And then he's going to bite you.
Man. I think this...
Wait,
like,
no.
Oh, my God. I think this
He bites him. He's going to do so much more damage than the old Nunu, but have, like, more crowd control. Oh, this is scary, dude. He's going to be good at invading still, and he's going to be really good at ganking, which is where Nunu is weak at before.
Oh, but he's also now got the Warwick effect, where if you get him low early game, it doesn't matter because he's going to heal for a lot. Yeah. It's scary.
So he doesn't need to take, but he probably doesn't even need to take a refillable potion. You probably could start Machete and Pink Ward. Or the fact that he's got a cleave makes it so he could do Talisman as well. So the Raptor camp's easier.
What becomes interesting to me is like when we think about what keystone makes sense on him, because I think he's definitely a tank. And I don't think he can really lane top and mid as well as he could before. So, like, people don't understand about old Nunu is like he was actually a really reasonable top laner for many, many seasons, just because he would get the free snowball, walk up and snowball the enemy, and then walk back and keep CSing. And if he got low, you just consume a creep. So like Nunu, I think could still lane top, but like
that was a long time ago. Oh man, top. I didn't even think about top lane Nunu. You'd be like lane ganking like Sion does with your snowball.
Oh my God.
He sounds really annoying. Like, if you walk up to Nunu, he's just gonna bite you.
But they don't even get the warning that you're using the W to them.
It's just suddenly. Whoa! Someone brought up a good point. What about Kled and Nunu snowball? Like you just come you come in really fast with the snowball, just like.
Well, okay, but we have to know if that affects it because like Sion ult doesn't get sped up, I don't think, by Kled ult. Like I'm pretty sure. I think it goes at the same speed.
Yeah, I think so too.
But if this gets sped up, that's crazy.
Or like Zillion Nunu, if he
Oh
gets
my
sped
god.
up. It's just super
Zillion Nunu.
fast.
Dude, that's crazy. Like, if that works, Zillion Nunu is going to be a legitimate combo. Like, he comes in, knocks them up with his W, or they flash immediately, in which case the gank is successful anyway.
Yeah.
Like, if you get the flash.
You get double bombed.
But you get double bombed
And
if
then Nunu ults and they die.
Yeah, like, you're getting rooted by Nunu's E. Like, if they hit the initial W, that's the thing that's crazy to me about this Nunu update. If he hits the initial snowball, I don't think that you can get out. Like,
Oh, you're screwed. Yeah, if he hits the initial snowball, you're gonna get slowed by his E. You're gonna get snared into his ultimate.
yeah.
So like old Nunu, the only thing he could rely on was like slowing you and then using his ultimate, which would eventually override his E snowball, which is the ability you're not even maxing first. Or he's depending on his team to keep them in the ultimate. Now Nunu can like guarantee that somebody's gonna eat like a full channel ult, because if he hits a snowball, like he probably could just start full channeling at that point, and you probably can't get out unless you have flash, because he's on top of you, you're knocked up, you're getting slowed. It's like I could see like AP Nunu tank being a build. I could see like just full tank Nunu being like Sejuani level annoying. I think he's going to be a damn good jungler, and I think we're definitely going to see him in pro play.
And it's all about numbers. Like, we can't forget that
the numbers will definitely dictate like when you'll see him. But this type of kit, this has got like old Gnar all over it, where you're just kind of like, you look at it and you're just kind of like, yeah, like there might be some problems here and there, but this is literally just a better champion in this position than like what is already played. Like Sejuani is still played in Korea, and she's been nerfed God knows how many times. But Nunu just reminds me so much of Sejuani in terms of like gank patterns and like just what you do in team fights. You know, Sejuani just doesn't do a whole lot. Maybe a little bit more damage than Nunu, but like, man, Nunu just looks, not only is visually Nunu looks great, but I feel like this is everything you want in a jungler.
Yeah.
Like really easy jungle clear. You have like high sustain. You could probably level 2 gank as Nunu. Just you could go like snowball and E, or like, you know, bite and E or something like that, and just like run in and just try to burn somebody's flash. But then his level 3 gank is like fantastic.
Just seems like
I'm gonna play him. I'm actually gonna play a lot of Nunu when he comes out. He looks like a lot of fun. I think he's gonna be really effective.
All right, let's go down the checklist. When you rework a champion, there's a certain checklist you need to go down. Number 1, does the kit feel like fluid? Does it feel like it's not like gimmicky? Like, okay, so this kit's pretty fluid looking. If you hit one ability, you chain it into other abilities, and it feels good to hit everything, right? I think Snowball feels really silly. I think it's going to be one of those things that you're going to feel dumb having to walk around a Snowball before you do Raptor Camp, right?
Yeah.
But other than that, I feel like the abilities feel pretty cool. I feel like it makes sense that he only gets the move speed from the passive if he hits the like an ability or like damages the opponent. Like, I really like that, actually. Yeah, I think that his kit feels good in that sense.
I think his passive is the only thing that I'm kind of just like, this feels forced. You know, it just felt like they just were like, all right, what do we make his passive? And they're like, well, we didn't work in Blood Boil into his kit, and he doesn't really have great like wave clear, and you know, like it kind of felt like they just slapped together the passive to be like the missing elements. Like, oh, he might need a little bit better AoE in the jungle, or he's just going to be too weak, and like, well, where's Nunu without the old Blood Boil? So like, I really wish with champion reworks, they would just literally just say, hey, you know, this was an ice themed champion. Maybe it has one of the same abilities, but let's just like, you know, make it from the ground up. But
I like so that's the second point in the checklist. Does it feel like old Nunu? Okay, it's still got the same R, still got the same Q. I mean, with improvements to both of those. The passive is like his old W.
You want it to feel like old Nunu. Like,
no, probably not.
Yeah. So it's like when a champion gets an update, but the champion is, you know, doesn't have a real identity in the game anymore, then it's like, my only concern is that like you are bringing something back that should have been killed. Like old Nunu should have, realistically just been retired and like just another champion takes its place. But like,
Well, yeah.
they want to keep the same themes. They're basically deleting old Nunu, like it's a piece of garbage, and they're just kind of like, all right, this is the new guy. Like, I can't remember what it was. It was some kids show where like, like it might have been Invader Zim. I think it was Invader Zim, where like he gets taken and replaced, and they're like try to pretend like it was the same guy, and it's just not.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So like, I don't think it's a problem that Nunu stays mostly the same. There were problems with Nunu, like the AP scaling they added to his W, like giving your teammates AP I think that was a terrible idea. But they were trying to make it like a stopgap to make it last until the rework. But the thing is, like, giving the ult a shield, and giving Consume the ability to hit champions, those would have also just made old Nunu better. You know?
Yeah.
Making the E also have be a skill shot, but also have a root if you hit it. That would have made old Nunu better. Like, if you just changed his QER and left old Nunu the exact same, I think he might have just been... I think you could have balanced that better than this snowball crap that, like, you might just not be able to hit half the time you use it. Because it looks like it's really easy to dodge. I don't know.
It's going to be really easy to dodge, but it's like...
Hold on. I'm watching.
What if, like... I'm watching. It's going to be really easy to dodge until you realize that you're slowed by a karma or something, and it's
right.
Yeah, so it's like by itself, like I don't think Nunu Snowball is going to be that good. What I'm worried about is like, randomly getting Ash arrowed, and then suddenly a fucking, a Nunu Snowball just rolls in, and you're like, I can't do anything.
Oh man.
Ash
that
Nunu?
would be...
Wait,
I remember the days when Ash Nunu was like actually a good bot lane too, man.
Do you think it's coming back? The Ash Nunu bot lane?
I don't think this champion can be a bot laner until they... I think that one of the things they need to do is like let supports take smite and get smite items too, in order for anyone like Nunu to be good. But that's a different topic. We can talk about that later.
I'm gonna play Nunu support.
God.
Apparently
you're also gonna play Nunu damage. Like so. Full damage Nunu. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, of course people are gonna do full damage Nunu. If this snowball scales with movement speed, Predator. I mean, that's already what AP Nunu takes in the jungle. You're going to see a Predator Nunu with a snowball running down a lane. It's going to be...
So, like, I guess, to me, the reason why I like this rework better than, like, the Aatrox rework is because I feel like that Aatrox rework made a champion that was
Aatrox
cool.
was fine. Yeah,
like,
Aatrox had a
pretty cool.
He was very effective at what he did. He was an anti-tank, drain tanking beast. But I feel like maybe they slated the rework like really early, and they just didn't realize that he was actually effective. They're like, yeah, he's really old.
Well, the problem for that rework is that they made a champion that was based on auto attacks not have to auto attack you. They made a champion that had like a certain play style, totally not have to play like that at all. So,
the movement speed does affect the snowball speed.
All right, that's crazy.
But
I can't wait to play
turn
this.
speed is a problem.
Look, if Khan can like do crazy stuff on like Scion drifting through the jungle, he's gonna find ways to make this work.
Dude, Valhalla, let me tell you what, if you can deeply damage people with Nunu W, don't forget that the entire reason why AP Nunu was working before they nerfed him and had like a decent win rate was because you were one-shotting people with his ultimate. Mm-hmm. His ultimate is the same damage. It's just better. He gets a shield.
You can confirm that you're going to hit that more as well with your own with CC. The new E. Yeah, very interesting character. I mean, the other things that you could ask about, like, will this champion be good? Is does this champion synergize with a bunch of other champions? We talked about Ashe. Literally any tank in the game synergizes well with this new champion.
So let me tell you about what crowd control Let me tell you about crowd control in League of Legends.
Go for it.
It is quite literally the best stat in the game to have, because if you crowd control Faker, he is the same as crowd controlling a bronze player. So it's like when you stun a good player, unless they've got QSS, unless they've got Merc Treads, even if they do that, it's like it brings down the level of play. And it also allows for you to combo with other CC. So it's like one thing hits you, okay, I can't do anything. Something else hits you, okay, definitely can't do anything. You're dead. It makes it so playing squishies is harder. It makes it so just being like on your own is harder, because if the enemy team has a lot of CC, you can't just run away. You get slowed, somebody runs in and stuns you, and it's like crowd control is quite honestly what you want built into your team comp. Like when you have like a jungle Nidalee, half the time you're like, okay, I mean, Nidalee's a good champion when the player's good, but she doesn't really do anything in a team fight besides throw spears. Whereas like Sejuani, it's like you could have an auto-filled Sejuani on your team. She's not the best champion, but you're going to win because she's just throwing CC out, right? Like she's making someone on their team like less effective than she is. Whereas that Nidalee player, even if they're good, if your team just lacks crowd control elsewhere, then it's like, how do you get anything done? Like who goes in first? Who unless the enemy team is really out of position consistently, you can't do anything without crowd control. So crowd control is amazing. Crowd control is everything in League. Like if you don't have crowd control, you might as well just dodge, because the only way you'll get kills in that game, especially in team fights, is if they walk into you and they don't run away. So it's like crowd control is how the game works. So when Nunu has more crowd control, I'm just like, well, he's just more of what's good in League. I think his damage numbers could actually just be utter trash, and he would still see some play. Just like a Sejuani.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I like this guy. I do think we didn't mention this, but like his current kit has no cleave at all and like no AoE. So the fact that he's gaining that cleave is at least like a small buff.
Well, I mean, his W is AoE too, and
his W is AoE.
His E is AoE.
Is AoE. So like he's actually gonna have a better. I don't know. This champion.
He's gonna have worse single target damage with his Q, because I'm pretty sure it does like half the true damage that it was doing before. So it's still gonna be good though. Like a 600 true, like what was it, 1100, 1000 compared to like 600, what it's gonna be now. Like you still combat that smite and you're gonna get dragon.
Yeah.
It's like the problem is like doing a high amount of true damage period on like a really fast. I think his Q might be faster. I didn't look at the cast time, but I think his Q might not even have a cast time. Like let's go back and look at the Q.
No, it doesn't.
The old Nunu doesn't. Yeah, it's basically instant. New Nunu has the wind up animation, or old Nunu has the wind up animation where he's like, you see the cast bar and he's like, Arr! And
I don't
it's
think
like
he has the cast bar, but he has an animation now. Like you can see,
let's see
he
it
bites
again.
forward. He like bites forward.
It looks. Oh wait, I just saw. Okay, it's actually kind of slow. Hold on.
But it all depends on if that is.
I don't know when he's casting. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
when he starts the cast. I think that might be an auto attack.
Yeah, that might not be a cast time. Look, you can see it on the Lysandra. He just walks up and then he immediately starts the bite. I don't think there's a cast time. I don't know.
I think it's a lower cast time than old Nunu. Old Nunu, there was like a wind up where you're like, whoop, and you see the cast bar. And
yeah. Trust me, I have had many times.
It probably has a little bit of a cast time, this new one, but the old one definitely was like, if you smited too early, you didn't time your consume with it, you could still lose Baron.
There were many times back when I was playing support Nunu, back when you had to in like season 2 or whatever it was, that I would just like be going to try to get a last hit or something. Okay, I was a bad person back then, and when my AD carry started screwing up, I wanted to steal from them. But I would miss last hits because consumes like cast time,
Right.
But I don't know. I think that's enough talking about Nunu. I think he's going to be good. I think you think he's going to be good.
Yeah, I think he's going to be probably banned a lot.
And Nunu bot's the best skin in the game again.